Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, listen, there's a lot of rumors floating around, and I'm not going to add to the rumor mill. What I'll tell you is take this with a grain of salt. Supposedly, Crawford and Spence have firmed up at least a month where the rematch is going to take place. It looks like February of 2024. That means Crawford would have been out the ring about 8 months. Same thing with Spence. That's a long time, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what it looks like. As far as the weight, they still haven't agreed on a weight, is my understanding. But I'm sure details will be forthcoming. But that being said, it's a little bit weird, right? Because Terrence Crawford. Now, there was something posted because there's a huge convention going on in the Dominican Republic, the WBO. And, of course, Crawford's out there with his team, but it's being rumored that Crawford is going to be ordered to face the winner of Tszyu and Mendoza. So, if that's true, and Crawford, decides he's going to bubble up to 154 to fight, the winner of Tszyu and Mendoza. Well, Crawford, in my opinion, should be able to beat both of them. And then now Crawford has a piece of that WBO gold at 154. And that means he'd be on a clear path to a showdown with with Jermell Charlo. I got a little cold, so I apologize for the sneezing and the congested sound, right? But Jermell Charlo's supposed to be fighting his mandatory for the IBF #1 ranked Bakram Murtazayev. Now, I got to do my research on this guy. He's 21-0. But if Jermell beats him, and depending on how long he's going to, when they fight. But so when we look at this, right? Crawford fights in February. Tszyu and Mendoza are supposed to be fighting here this weekend on the 14th of October. That means, I'm trying to look at a timeline. So Crawford fights in February. These guys fight in October. That means they'll be out the ring 4 months. So that means February, then it's April, May, June, July. That may be able to work if Crawford wants to turn around that quick after this Spence fight and be back in the ring in 4 months and fight the winner of Tszyu Mendoza in like July. That means that they'll be out the ring 6 months. But I'm thinking more like July, August, September time frame is more realistic to me, like a 6-month turnaround for Crawford, which means Tszyu and Mendoza will be out the ring probably more like 10 months. But after they get through that fight, if all of this is true, then hell, Crawford and Charlo could be fighting the end of 2024. You know what I'm saying? If, in fact, that's the direction all this goes. But right now, who knows what's true and what's not. But these are some of the conversations that are taking place. That being said, more to come. But you know what's going on at that convention right now. That's where the guys start rubbing elbows and certain decisions are made. And that's where the corruption takes place. Well, hopefully some good news comes out of it as far as the fights we want to see. Because I wouldn't mind seeing Crawford get a shot at the winner of Tszyu Mendoza. But we've got to see what the hell is going on with him and Spence first. But it's still odd to me because unless the WBO has worked out a deal with the IBF, WBC, and the WBA, where they're cool with Terrence Crawford after the Spence rematch to bubble up and challenge for a WBO strap at 154. Crawford could have even bigger problems because now you got Boots Ennis there. The IBF may not budge. So Crawford could end up getting stripped. So let's see how this plays out because this I mean, it all sounds good on paper, but this could be bad for Terrence Crawford if those other sanctioning bodies want to force their mandatory on him at the same time. And I've done videos about this. It's just not cool. It's impossible to defend your IBF strap and your WBO strap against the IBF mandatory and the WBO mandatory at the same damn time. Like, it's just, you can't do that. But that's what these sanctioning bodies are doing. When they want their belts defended, they'll force something like that on the fighter, and the fighter's like, hey, I can't do it, and they'll be forced to drop a belt. It's crazy. This is stuff that's been going on for years, man. You can go out there and Google this kind of situation and see where there have been huge issues with this, and where the WBC is supposedly trying to work with other sanctioning bodies to preclude this from happening. But I have a feeling it's going to happen with Crawford. I have a feeling they're going to put him in a position where it's just impossible for him to do what they want him to do. And he's going to end up probably just relinquishing the belts, or he may just drop them all and say, hey, been there, done that, and just bubble up to 154 and start to put in work there. But anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.